Hey y'all, welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jared Paul, and happy Bonsaiversay to me. This is the 2-year mark for this YouTube channel and my 3-year mark growing bonsai. So happy I found this art form. It really does so much for me on a daily basis. And even though I have to do a lot because I went obsessive compulsive and got a ton of different species and a ton of different trees, it really is so rewarding, and I don't see it as a chore or a job ever. With that being said, it wouldn't be Jarhead Bonsai if I didn't use my good initiative, bad judgment. So even though I got some really great advice from Ian at Back Garden Bonsai, and the plan was to bring them up from the basement, get them pruned up before they bud out, and then after a couple of weeks outside budding out, I was going to repot everything. So I jumped the gun and I started pulling up one species at a time, and I pruned the red buds, I pruned the redwoods, and I pruned the black locust and a couple different species. And all of a sudden they started budding out like after 2 days. And I'm like, okay, I thought it was going to be about 2 weeks. So yesterday for my Bonsaiversay, I finally stopped being cheap and ordered a ton of bonsai soil. It's going to be the most epic bonsai soil ever. So because of that, I got excited and I'm like, oh, well, I ordered all my soil. I might as well bring all of my trees up, get them out of the basement, and let's get a little head start on spring because we have such a short growing season here in Northwest Connecticut. Well, no joke, 28 hours later now, I have all of my Trident maples budding out, tons of yellowwoods and red buds and all these other different trees already budding out. So I really had to accelerate my plan. So today I'm going to prune up an absolute ton of trees. So I'm going to do my best to break it down per species and not make the time lapse too fast. But basically what I'm going to be doing is removing branches that are terrible, like a cross branch or something that I wouldn't want to back bud at all for the most part. And then if there's just an absolute terrible branch that's completely out of shape, I'll prune it back and leave a little extra room for dieback, and hopefully, even though they're already budding out, we'll get them to bud again. So anyways, it's fitting for my Bonsaiversay that I get to do a whole heck of a lot of bonsai. So I'm going to throw on the Liverpool game, bounce back between Liverpool and Barcelona, and prune up some bonsai. So that's what's coming up on today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. All right, so literally there were no leaves at all yesterday. 10:30 a.m. I got done bringing all my trees upstairs, and here I am. It's like almost 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I've got all these trees budding out like crazy. I mean, I'm really happy. So that means they not only survived winter, but they had a ton of energy. But it just means that I have to kind of, do a lot more trees than I typically do in a day. Oh, well. Twist my arm. Cool. So we are down to the last two of 15 Trident maples, and this would be their third year coming from a bare root process, and I got them on eBay. So, as many of you know, my beautiful bride Laura and I, we do this a lot together, and she's about 5 months pregnant. So this is something nice and relaxing for her too. So if you're out there and your bride's pregnant, or just you're on my channel and you're pregnant, maybe bonsai is for you. So this is the tallest, as you can tell. It's probably, let's see, 3.5, 4 feet tall. And Laura always likes me to leave like one pretty much fully grown one out of each species. That's her thing. So here we go. I figured it would be fitting for her to prune this one. And then I left one that was really surprisingly ramified for such a young tree to go last, and I'll knock that one out. So here we go. She's been doing a great job with all the others, asking a couple questions here and there, and I answer them, which is funny because I ask so many questions of my bonsai broskies. So anyways, everybody's at a different level. I always consider like the year you're on your level. So I'm officially a level 3 bonsai guy. So you see I left it in a larger pot. Wanted to grow it thick at the base and then keep it about 3.5, 4 feet tall. You know, what you hear as a Japanese garden tree. So what we've been doing this entire time is anything growing back towards the main trunk, or that would be, you know, crisscrossing and cross branching in the near future. Just got rid of that entirely with a tiny little bit of room. If it looked like a sloppy prune on the branch where there was like a 1/2 inch left, that's for dieback, because maples are famous for dying back, and then you could really lose like everything above it as well. So that's what LB's doing right now. This thing's received like one tiny pruning, maybe for some of the most horrible branches last year, and so there's a little bit of leftover stumps, some dead pieces she's pruning off. And then I've noticed with these Trident maples that they get extremely ramified at the top, so I found myself like pruning off really nice branching, but it was just too high and too like intricate, complicated, say, like too soon for these trees. You know, really I'd like to develop that down low. So
do you like this one?
I hate that one.
Do you want it all the way back here?
See how it's making like an L shape?
Here.
I say just chop that friggin' thing off. Yeah, cool. There's another one a little lower, same kind of thing.
This one?
The other one on the left side.
This one.
Yeah.
Right here. This one and this one.
Huh. You got one going more vertical and one coming straight across?
Yeah, one's going that way, and then one's coming out towards me.
Seems like the theme we're going with on this one is more vertical growth, and that's growing across the main trunk, so I would prune it off and leave the other one.
This one.
Yeah. And there's that the one next to that one too. It's really long and growing back towards the apex.
This one?
Yes. So I would bring that down like even a little lower before it starts growing back towards the trunk with an outward facing bud. Yeah, cool. So we're at halftime of the Liverpool game. There was a goal that was called back because the linesman, for some reason, allowed to rule. Yeah, that one can go.
This one? Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is coming out and growing vertically right next to the main trunk, so no sense in keeping it. And the guy he calls it out of bounds instead of reverting to VAR, which I don't know what the special rules are in the Champions League, but in the English Premier League, they would have checked. So Liverpool should be up 1-0. I'm not being a whiner. It's just, you know, Goals are so important. Especially right now, it's the knockout rounds. Let me guess, you're done.
No, do you like the 3 right here? Or
If there's 3 coming out of one spot, you should keep your favorite 2. This is actually the only Trident maple that hasn't really budded out, and I think that is because it's such a large tree. But good to know. They had so much energy that they were just ready to go. 28 hours budding out from dormancy. Lean in a little higher.
yeah.
So Laura had got me a really cool gift for Valentine's Day, and we were planning on doing it together today, but then, you know, after everything buttered out, it was like, all right, we have to go into emergency mode.
Yeah.
So here we are, multitasking, watching soccer, pruning bonsai. It's actually the best Bonsaiversay gift you can get, having a ton of trees to prune up.
It's just so busy up here. I don't know what to do.
I would take off like the main apex of each of the branches. Yeah, it's looking good. It's okay if it's busy this year. I mean, obviously it's got a lot more years of developing to go.
Yeah.
There's one squirrely branch in there that's a little closer to you, a little lower than that one.
This one?
It's not swiggly. A little lower.
This one?
No, the other one below it. Towards you. Towards you. Yes. It doesn't fit the style at all, so just get that. Very cool. I think it's looking good. That's a good start. And maybe that straight vertical one on the branch you have. Yeah.
Do you like all these little ones off of here?
I do for this year. Yes.
That good?
Yes. I like you. Thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
All right, y'all. So this is the last of the Trident maples. Really, really some nice branching going on. Loving all that muscular growth. So that'll probably get a nice proper repot into a nice terracotta pot or something this spring. Oh! Goal. 2-0 Liverpool. So that's going to do it for today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. That's 15 Trident maples all set up and done. Thanks for joining me for the Jarhead Bonsaiversay. This is part 1 because I am not done today. Got plenty more trees to prune. So cheers, y'all.